Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Vinnie Harned here, aka Duende, and welcome to Homeschooled Nerd, where today we are doing something a little bit different, a reaction video. See, a little over a year ago, I did this video where I took this screwed up astronomy quiz. It's a new series that I plan to do called Strange Web Encounters. However, as time went on, I didn't have a lot of ideas for strange web encounters, so the series kind of died. But recently, I got the urge to do the same kind of thing, just a little bit different. So today, I'm going to be doing a new reaction video, so if you guys have anything weird or zany in any way that you'd like to see me or any of us here at Homeschool Nerd react to, let me know in the comment section below, and we'll check it out. So anyway, recently the internet has been taken over by two things: Donald Trump and Pokemon Go. Now, I personally have not actually played Pokemon Go yet. Not because I don't want to, I definitely would like to try it, but I do know people have played it, and I've played quite a few Pokemon games, as those of you who watch my gameplay channel on NoobTube will know. However, not everyone is so sure about this whole Pokemon thing, which is nothing new, of course. People have been preaching against Pokemon since the original games first came out. However, Pokemon Go's success has once again driven the controversy out to the internet. There are a ton of videos on YouTube, to the point where I could probably have an entire channel just dedicated to reacting to these expository videos. However, today we'll be reacting to a video uploaded by Sheila Zilinsky titled The Dark Roots of Pokemon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing started and learn the truth behind the world of Pokemon. Wiccan Vigilante, waging war and corruption. Cool. Still image of Soundwave. I can already tell this video is gonna blow my mind. Okay, not trying to be rude or anything right off the bat here, but it is kind of strange that we have a 45-second intro with nothing except music and two still images.
The Sheila Zilinsky Show, the only show to give you the truth behind the headlines.
Wait, so this is the only show that gives you the truth? See, that's odd because that's the exact same thing that almost all the shows on American Family Radio said.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this Tuesday, July 26, 2016 edition. So today I'm doing a show that I think is very timely, considering we've got quite the phenomenon going on with this game, Pokemon Go. There's no doubt that you've heard the term Pokemon, but what exactly is it?
Well, right off the bat here, I am relieved that she's pronouncing it Pokemon instead of Pokemon.
So Pokemon is short for pocket monsters. Since the 90s, let's face it, has impacted children's culture like no other fad before it. They've now reintroduced it, brought it back.
Wait, brought it back? I mean, Pokemon Go is huge and all, but only because Pokemon itself was already huge. I don't think as a standalone game it would be really anything special.
You remember when the kids in the 90s were coercing their parents to shell out millions of dollars on trading cards?
What parent actually spent $1 million on trading cards?
And I think it's really noteworthy that when our children become this fascinated with cartoon culture, well, then I think it's incumbent upon us parents to do our due diligence to find out what it's really all about.
You know what? You are absolutely right. Let's get to the bottom of this Pokemon thing. First off, let's play the game.
So, let's start off with some basics from the world of Pokemon. Pokemon is a copyright of Nintendo Japan. Again, it's short for Pocket Monsters.
You say that like it's a bad thing. It's not that Pocket Monster. Get your mind out of the gutter.
It is centered on these little fictional creatures called Pokemon, which humans, known as Pokemon trainers, catch and train to battle each other for sport.
I think it's worth noting here that battling for sport isn't the only thing that Pokemon are used for, and not all humans are Pokemon trainers either. Some people use Pokemon for pets, while others, like Professor Oak, study them as a profession.
Now, what was really interesting, I found in a rare interview with the creator, Satoshi Tajiri admits that the games were created as a backlash against his Christian parents.
Wait, what?
It says in this interview, the games are tailored towards an anti-Christian sentiment or Satanism. That's right, you heard it.
What's really funny is that this interview wasn't even real. Satori was in fact interviewed by Time Magazine in 1999, but this interview she's quoting here was a fake interview posted by Play for Real, a gaming blog who posted the interview as a joke after all the controversy about Pokemon's evolution. Even more ironic is the fact that the creator of Pokemon wasn't inspired by religion at all, but in fact was inspired by his days as a kid catching bugs in his backyard. However, as technology advanced, he found many of the places he used to catch bugs being turned into what is now modern modern Japan. So he created Pokemon with the idea of relieving his childhood mind. But hey, I'm not gonna try to be too hard on her. I mean, the article does say that he created the games to go against everything Christianity taught. It's obvious by the games that that's not true, but hey, how is she supposed to know that? I mean, aside from playing the game.
Goes on to say everything presented in the game is the opposite of what Christians believe. Some say the game promotes voodoo, magic, etc., and I agree. But there are many things in nature that are unexplainable. Time then says, so those who say the game is anti-Christian, they are correct. Yes, they are. I guess you could say that the game supports Satanism. I don't officially celebrate it, but I can understand why people would be attracted to it. And of course, Nintendo refused to comment on the interview, and you can find that interview online. So that's just a little tiny history from the man who started it himself. Here's what I want to really emphasize is the hidden hand of the New World Order is visible in the toy and game industry.
Wait, so we're talking about the Illuminati now? I mean, not to get all predetermined before I've heard her out, but after that whole fake interview, I think it's going to take quite a bit for me to get back to my unbiased view, but I'll try, I guess.
Now, Pokemon teaches children that they can become a powerful evil force and cast spells.
Wait, which Pokemon game are we talking about again?
Cheating, stealing, and killing, they're necessary to achieve personal goals.
Whoa, what Pokemon game actually lets you cheat or steal? That's what Team Rocket does.
In this shared world with humans and Pokemons.
Did you really honestly just say Pokemons?
Now, it's interesting to note that the publishing company for the Pokemon trading card game...
Okay, no, Pokemon. Pokemon is much worse, thank you.
...is Wizards of the Coast. This company, a subsidiary of Hasbro, also publishes the Occult Dungeons and Dragons and Satanic Magic: The Gathering.
I don't see Satanic in the title, just magic. Of course, I know next to nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. I've heard it's got an evil feel to it, so I generally stay away from it. But just because the same company licensed to sell Pokemon trading cards also sells trading cards for something like Dungeons and Dragons doesn't really mean anything. That's like saying that since YouTube hosts porn, that all videos uploaded to the site are evil.
So the strategy of Wizards of the Coast is to hook a very young, susceptible child with Pokemon and then expose that child to more obvious anti-Christian resources.
I would argue that a much more likely strategy behind Wizards of the Coast would be maybe, making money with whatever they're able to do.
So the object of the game is to capture or buy Pokemon and train them to obey and attack on command. Once they are ready, you can challenge other Pokemon trainers. You do this until you've beaten all other local trainers and you defeat the elite trainers who are masters of evil, according to the official Pokemon handbook.
Masters of evil? I don't know what guide that came from, but whoever wrote it must have forgotten to play the games. Pokemon gym leaders are incidentally highly experienced, disciplined trainers who run different gyms around the world of Pokemon. There's nothing evil about these guys. The only real reason you battle them, aside from getting XP, is to allow yourself to enter the Pokemon tournament, which is a main point of the game.
And the ultimate goal, in their words, is to defeat the Pokemon Master and Ascended Master. Where have we heard that before? Take a look at Alice Bailey, who wrote the 24 volumes of the Occult, and see that she was channeled by her Ascended Master.
No, you beat the Pokemon Master, your rival, then you ascend. There's no Ascended Master.
Now, according to Pokemon Pathways to Adventure by Jason Rich, the final accomplishment is to capture and catalog all the Pokemon in the world. Hence their slogan, gotta catch them all. Yeah, they've got to catch them all right. The Occult wants all our children.
A much more easier way to know what the game's all about would be to play it. Please, just play the game. It's not that hard.
So as your cute little demonic Pokemon gain experience points, they evolve into bigger and badder Pokemon. This Darwinian evolving as the critters get larger often sprout devil horns, claws, fangs, talons, and a litany of creature features.
I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I actually live on a farm where we have cows. And sometimes I get to witness these cows evolving into evil creatures with devil horns. That's pretty scary, don't you think?
Even when they're still cute, furry, and not yet evolved, Pokemon fight by biting and scratching their opponents. They may not be able to kill an opponent at this level, but they can hurt each other.
Pokemon actually don't kill each other during Pokemon battles. Besides, can you imagine how boring a video game would be if you didn't fight? What's the point?
To be a winning trainer, you not only have to be a good fighter, but a Pokemon scholar. So you have to memorize all the statistics of each pocket monster in each of its different stages of development. You have to know the magic and the energy cards.
Actually, all you really gotta do is level up enough so you can one-hit KO enemies. I mean, on my playthroughs of Pokemon, I always just rely on my handy dandy Squirtle. I don't really even have to worry about type disadvantage, to be honest. So what about you, Joe? Did you spend hundreds of hours learning all the statistics to be a successful Pokemon trainer?
It literally takes hundreds of hours for these kids to become this Pokemon wizard. It's a multi-dimensional, complex, knowing your enemy's strengths and weaknesses, but it's also about Eastern mysticism fused with the occult. This is witchcraft. This is casting spells. Sometimes it's better to concede defeat and pick up experience points for the next battle, but sometimes it's better to use magic.
Are you sure we're talking about Pokemon? I swear it's almost like we're talking about two different games here.
Now, it's interesting that Pokemon has actually been banned in a number of schools because of its addicting influence on children to the point of a complete obsession.
Finally, a valid point. Yes, in fact, I will be the first to admit it. Pokemon is a very addictive game. I remember when I first played it, I was having so much fun battling over and over, searching for new Pokemon, leveling up my Pokemon. Add to that the fact the game's mobile, so it's always available. Sure, Pokemon can be very addictive. The thing is, I've learned that anything can be addiction. At least for me, since I have a bit of an addictive personality. However, because of that, I'm also able to accomplish a lot more provided I take responsibility for what I do. So as long as I use a little self-control, the joy of playing games like Pokemon stays just that.
The challenge of Pokemon lures kids into this fantasy world that they're not wanting to leave.
Well, if the real world is as dark as you've seen the paint, then yeah. Get me back into that Pokemon game, please.
And that's what's happening with Pokemon Go. You see people crashing into cars, walking into motorways, getting hit by cars, falling out of trees. I mean, people have got seriously injured because they immerse into this fantasy world and they have a really hard time unplugging from this, disconnecting from this. That's mind control. This is total straight up mind control.
Being addicted to a game is not straight up mind control. That would be like in Captain America where the Winter Soldier is no longer in control of his actions because the Nazis messed up his brain. Besides, I know lots of people who play Pokemon but aren't obsessed with it. I understand that video games are addictive. I get it. But eventually you have to stop blaming the developers for making a great game and take personal responsibility for your actions. You walked across the street while playing Pokemon Go and you got hurt. Don't do it.
And it really can adversely affect children. Children become aggressive. They start chanting these mantras. And so if life in the Pokemon world is one of continuous fighting, why would we want to immerse our children into a world of constant belligerence and aggression, turning cute little characters into monsters that have powers? And these are occult powers.
You mean like Pikachu's Thunderbolt? Because that's not an occult power. It's science.
And these characters evolve into larger and fiercer beasts by things like by doing psychic witchcraft, by using toxic gas, poisons, magic potions, wear magic badges to control the stronger Pokemon. And in addition, the really powerful Pokemon have psychic powers and can throw curses. Now, if that doesn't bear a disturbing similarity to witchcraft, I don't know what does.
So the rest consists of making obscure connections between Pokemon powers and designs to Satanism. Some of them are more far-fetched than others, but overall, I think it just shows a misunderstanding of Pokemon and how Japanese culture works. Japan has been inspired by multiple religions, primarily Christianity and Buddhism. So of course the games that come out in Japan are going to reflect their culture. All of Nintendo's video games are like this. I really don't have time to go into the rest of the video here. Besides, I think I'll say that for someone who's maybe more qualified to discuss that kind of thing, like Gaijin Goomba or MatPat. There was one part in the middle, however, that really got me thinking when she quoted Philippians 4:8. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. And honestly, that seemed really weird to me since that was the whole reason that I love Pokemon, because it's beautiful and lighthearted. As I showed in the Vincent's episode, Is Pokemon Evolutionary, the world of Pokemon can be surprisingly deep, but at the end of the day, it's just a beautiful game created by a man who wanted to relive his childhood, and has now enabled millions of people around the world to relive theirs through Pokemon Go. So let me ask you this, which is worse? Letting your mind think about things like Pokemon, or constantly thinking about the end of the world? Don't tell me that that can be in any way redeeming or healthy. But bottom line, if people have a problem with Pokemon, I get it. I was there at one point too. And I believe it's important for all of us to set personal boundaries for ourselves and our families. For instance, I won't play M-rated games. Not because I believe that all M-rated games are the spawn of Satan and that anyone who plays them are part of the occult, but because for me personally, I want to have a clear line that I won't cross. However, to say that things you don't feel comfortable with getting into, like Pokemon or evil or satanic, without having the proper evidence seems really wrong to me. Not all the arguments in this video were bad. I'll leave a link in the description to the original video if you guys want to check that out, but especially with that interview at the beginning claiming that the creator of Pokemon created the game with being anti-Christian in mind, that's just so far off. But I know that she didn't mean to lie or anything, so I won't hold it against her. And Sheila, if you're watching, thanks for your concern about Pokemon. I appreciate the fact that you're not just accepting everything, but I would ask that you let your viewers know one way or another that the interview you quoted never actually happened, and maybe even consider reading the real interview with Time Magazine. I'll have the link to both the fake and real interview in the description below, as well as an article explaining the fraud. Anywho, thank you to all you loyal nerds and nurses for checking out this reaction video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. More reaction videos will be coming soon, I promise, and I will see you all next Monday for another video. Until then, take it easy. I am out. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot. If you enjoyed it, be sure to let me know in the comment section below and by giving this video a like. And as always, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and you can check out some of our other Pokemon videos by clicking some of these here links. Check out some of our Pokemon videos. We got Vincent's Is Pokemon Evolutionary. We got the review I did on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and another video we're doing over on the YouTube. It's Pokemon Fire.